Welcome to the Louie Herron Podcast, where I'm going deep into business, sales, leadership, and life. And I mean life, from the boardroom to the bedroom, from business acquisitions to personal addictions, from being saved yet still feeling like a slave, from manning up to mousing out, dealing with divinity to reality. This podcast is dedicated to growth, learning, inspiration, and healing. Jump in, hang on, and hang out. You'll never know which topic I'll tackle next. But one thing's for certain, I'm here to share my experiences, strengths, failures, and hope, all to help us live life at the highest level we can. What's up, guys? What's up? Step on into the Louie Herron Podcast, where we're discussing leadership, sales, business, and the old infamous life's lessons, or maybe shall I say debacles of Louie, or maybe some other folks that I've grown and learned from. I appreciate you jumping on. If it's the first time you've ever heard, hang tight, hang tight. We're going to talk about some leadership hacks today. If you're in leadership, you're going to want to check this out. This stems from a lot of my experience in operating car dealerships, but really it stems from just understanding business in general. We're going to get into some of that for you, but again, I appreciate you listening. And again, if you like what you hear, do me a favor, subscribe, man. I mean, just the algorithms, and Louie loves that stuff. I would just be totally appreciative. Sharing content and information that really focuses on personal development, personal growth in the roles of leadership, sales, and business in general, and trying to do that through a lot of life's lessons and experiences that I may have had, or that others that I know may have had in the realm of business and sales and leadership. So again, I appreciate you tuning in. I'm excited to talk to you today about leadership. I'm excited because to me, leadership comes in so many forms and facets, right? There's so many different things different leaders do to create results. And I think, to be honest with you, there's nothing more powerful than a leader going into a place of business and taking it from 0 to 60. I mean, changing results like quick. And when I say quick, I'm talking 90 days, 60 days, 120 days, making transformational change, not only with the associates, but with the consumer base. Right, with ideas and concepts and tactics and strategies and habits and attitudes and mindsets. And these are the things that to me drive the heart and passion behind when I share with you guys, because again, this particular podcast stems from, quite frankly, now we're sitting in April, towards getting ready to start May. By the time you listen to this, it may already be May. But I'm in stores all the time, right? Whether I'm doing events, whether I'm doing dealer consulting, whether I'm doing, sales training, whether I am in a store, working with management on how to grow and just become better. I see so many different variations. And I'm telling you guys, I've been in a Nissan store in Los Angeles, California, all the way to, a Chrysler dealership in South Carolina, down to a Chevy Cadillac store in South Florida. I mean, all in between, Alabama, Atlanta, Georgia, Tampa, Florida, you name it. I see a lot of different stores, a lot of great things I see. However, I do want to share with you that I believe there's some areas of opportunity of growth. Now, if you're listening to this and you're a salesperson, are you a leader? Yes or no? Well, if I could hear you, I know you'd probably rhetorically say, of course you are, right? Because you at least got to lead yourself. So even what I'm covering today, it still involves you, right? It involves you. If you're management, mid-level management, man, leadership is paramount, right? If you're an upper management, it's paramount. If you're the CEO, if you own the business, leadership is key, right? So, but before we can talk about some leadership hacks, I wanted just to isolate some of the areas that I think pop out at me when I'm in different stores. And then I want you to isolate your business. You're in the insurance business. You're in the real estate business, the mortgage business. You're in the car business. You're in the whatever business, landscape business. It's not going to matter. It's all relevant. Business is business, because business is people. And so leadership is leading people. It's influencing people. Really, in leadership development, guys, always remember this, leadership development really is personal development. So as you grow as a person, you become a better leader, provided that you also incorporate tactics, strategies, and characteristics of the leaders that have gone before you. Some of the stuff that I bring to the table, guys, it's not, look, I've stolen some of the best material by learning along the way, right? It's not like I've created, I've got a certain amount of things that I created, that I honed in, that's my stuff. But at the end of the day, I learn from everybody. And so again, the bottom line is we all can grow and learn. Let's get right into it. The first thing we need to do, if we're going to have a hack, we got to figure out what are the problems, what are the concerns, and what are the issues. So here's what I see. Number one, lack of focus. Now, specifically, when I'm in, and I'm going to speak from it from an automotive space, right? Because that's kind of my world in terms of business interaction. Lack of focus. What I mean by that specifically is the lack of vision in the dealership. Lack of vision in the dealership. In other words, I could go around to 4 or 5 different employees and ask them what the vision is for the year. Couldn't be told. For the month, more than likely, all they can tell me is maybe how many cars they want to sell, if that. But in terms of vision, lack of focus, right? What's the goal, right? Lack of understanding the goals. Here's one. What is the lack of the daily targets? Think about that for a second. Does your place of business have a daily target? We all have a monthly goal, right? We know what we want to sell, or how many proposals we want, or how many homes we want to sell, or we've got our target. Most of us hopefully do. But again, what I notice is a lack of the daily targets, right? And then, of course, the accountability. In other words, let's say we've got the daily targets. Let's say we know the goal. The level of accountability to make sure when the day concludes, did we hit our daily target? Or did we just lock up shop and close it out, boom, and next thing you know, we wake up and do it all over again? And what I find is, especially in the automotive space, but I'm sure in business, what happens is when you are looking at your place of business through the same set of lenses, the filter you see your world through, after a while, you no longer see blind spots. It's just normal, mundane, over and over. And the guys that excel at a high level, they see things through a different lens. They're pushing at a different level. They're creating at a different level. They're setting targets. They're holding people accountable. They're excited about where they're going. That's number one. Number two, I rarely see a sense of intensity and urgency. Guys, urgency, intensity, that drives behavior. It's got to start with leadership. It's got to start with management. And if you're in sales, it should start with you. What is the level of urgency, the level of intensity you bring to the table on a daily basis? Think about time for a moment. There's 2 ways to manage time or look at time. You got a clock, and if you can visualize a clock, and those hands just go round and round and round and round, we think they're endless, right? To the next day, midnight, next thing you know, 6 a.m., next thing, midnight, next day, 6, and keep on going, round and round. Or you can look at it like an hourglass. And to those that I find are most successful, time is like an hourglass. We flip that thing over, boom, we get to the shop, 8 o'clock in the morning. We're getting ready to start the day. We know at the end of the day, all that sand runs out. It's over. We cannot get back time. So how we manage our time, the level of intensity, urgency is critical. Your energy. Again, to have great energy, to have great sense of urgency. Guys, this is a preparation on your part. This is a mindset on your part. This is an attitude on your part. Preparation, what I mean is for you to have great energy, to have a great attitude, to have a great mindset with all the shit going on in your world personally. Think about it. Your marriage, your children, your finances, your resources, your bills, a lawsuit. It goes on. It goes on. How important do you think it is for you to stay prepared, to have the mindset and attitude needed, to have the urgency and intensity needed in the place of business when you go there? I mean, it's absolutely critical, and I think that lacks to a certain degree. And the last thing I see is a lack of inspiration and motivation. Now, look, here's the thing. And I'm one of those guys, I like to influence and motivate and blah, blah, blah. We all know motivation is like fuel in a car. Eventually, it dies out. You got to go refuel. You got to go to the pump. You got to get some more. I got that. Motivation is not necessarily a thing that sustains you. Inspiration, however, is in spirit, right? It's in your soul. It's in your spirit. You're inspired. The only way that maintains a level that you need to have is being inspired to have something more. Listen to me. Most people I interact with and come in contact with are working every single day to make a paycheck and get the pay right. And I think that's a huge part of it. It's about getting paid. There's no doubt about it. We don't go to make friends at the workplace. I'm totally on the same page. However, I will tell you to be inspired to go to another level, right? You're a manager now, you want to run the place. You want to general manage. You want to be the operator. To then you want to maybe possibly own your own thing. Then you want to take the resources that you've made so you can find real estate and invest in real estate and some property so you can have residual income. You may want to get out and start your own podcast and start branding yourself from your own experience and knowledge you've acquired, whatever that may be in your space or field. Inspired. Why do we do the things we do? Because there's something bigger than just getting the paycheck. And I find that in most environments that I go into, The inspiration lacks completely, and even the sense of motivation, right? So again, just think, if you're in your place of business, how do you start your day? I'll give you an example. So I was connected with Discover Your Leadership, probably, man, over the last 20, 25 years. Mike Jones owns and operates that, by the way. discoverleadership.com. Check it out. Mike's a great guy, personal friend of mine. But we do a lot of leadership training together, and we have in the past. And when we go into, it doesn't matter what environment we go into, the very first thing we do to start every single morning as a management team, sounds hokey, it sounds hokey. Mike's going to crank up that radio, to Ain't No Mountain High Enough, or some song we've all heard. And we got this little bitty old bouncing ball. We circle up, and all we do is hit the ball back, forth, like we're volleying. We're just volleying. 5-10 minutes. Everybody's laughing, acting good. But you know what it does? It starts the day. I don't care how you start your day, with a damn bouncing ball or music. It's irrelevant. You're creative enough to come up with some concepts and ideas to figure out how you can grow your team through some excitement, through some fun. Remember, the speed of the lead equals the speed of the team. So if you're in leadership, salesman, you lead yourself, or mid-level manager, you're leading a team of people, or general manager, operator, you're leading everybody, right? Or owner, right? Doesn't matter how old you got or how many operations you own, right? The speed of the lead is the speed of the team. And so again, these are things that I noticed when I've gone into some of these operations. Doesn't make it right or wrong, doesn't make it bad or good. In fact, I'll even share with you, amongst everything I just shared, some of the stores actually sell a lot of cars and make a lot of money, right? So they're good, but we know the enemy to good, or the enemy to great, is being good, right? Because man, if you start tweaking just a little bit, you may mess up good. If you mess up good, now all of a sudden you may get average. So people like to play it safe, and that's a whole nother ball game. But let's talk about some hacks, right? Let's get right down to it. We'll close this thing up real quick. Let's talk about, if you're in leadership, you're in sales, you're in business, you're leading yourself, and we want to get to another level. We want to work on some of these issues that I just shared that I recognize. Maybe you agreed with them in your organization. Maybe you think, Louie, you lost your mind. Bro, we don't have those issues. Fantastic. If you ever get to a point where you have those issues, here's a couple of hacks that may help you. Hack number one. What is the daily goal? What is the weekly goal? If you're in leadership, okay, it is your responsibility. What's the daily goal and what's the weekly goal? And then I stop. I don't say what the monthly goal is. We already should have known what the monthly goal is. What's important to me, guys, is every 7 days. Short windows, short opportunities. Here's the reason. Number one, everybody in the organization has short attention spans. I tell you, we're going to sell 300 cars for the month. That's fine. But guess what? When we're on day number 17, nobody knows where we're at, where we're tracking. You know, the high level managers do, but the sales team, the most important piece of the whole puzzle, they have no clue, right? They have no clue. I believe it should be on a board every 7 days. Everybody knows what's the daily target, what's the weekly target. And we focus on 7 days. I call it the rule of seven. In fact, in my sales to CEO course for my automotive guys, I teach it in massive detail. It's that important. It was the single biggest thing that helped me to sell 40 to 50 cars a month, is breaking everything down to a 7-day window. When I became an operator, again, we had the monthly goal, but man, we focused on 7 days. We live and die by 7 days, because everyone's attention span in this world is super, super short. So we keep it to what's today's target and what is the weekly goal. And again, I also mean that in the sense of KPIs, which I'll touch on in just a second. So hack number 2, manager meeting to start every month with the monthly target, the vision, the ad budget, whatever we're doing for the month, so that everyone is clear. But here's the kicker. I'm not concerned as an operator or as a leader making sure everybody knows the monthly target. That's important. But I know as a leader, if I can drive today business, hell, I may be hit by a bus tomorrow, man. Today is all that matters. Today is all that matters. The Bible talks about tomorrow will be here soon enough, and yesterday's already gone. Can't bellyache on yesterday. It's already over with, man. It ended last night at midnight. It's gone. See ya. All right? Today, in the present. So what that means in this manager meeting, whoever the manager is hosting this meeting, whether it's sales managers with their sales team, whether it's general managers with his whole staff, or whatever the case may be, not only are we clear about the monthly target, we're clear about the ad budget, we're clear about where we're heading. It is all broken down into 7-day cycles. So in other words, all the key indices that are important, that every metric that determines and helps the organization drive revenue. That's all that matters to me. Revenue, 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 revenue. Sales, 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 sales. We got to sell something. Selling brings revenue to the house. Selling brings momentum to the staff. Selling gives confidence to the people. Selling changes everything. And so whether it's outbound phone calls, appointments set, company proposals, every metrics that's important, those are the metrics that I'm going to manage and make sure that in this meeting, everybody is crystal clear on what it looks like for a 7-day period. Again, does that take a little bit of work? Absolutely. Absolutely it does. But again, special leaders, they don't just grow on trees. They're created. They're created. So that's hack number 2. Last hack number 3. Guys, and you'd be probably shocked if I ended the podcast without mentioning this. However, training your people. Again, hack number 3, training schedule in advance, 30 days in advance. We're in April, we're getting ready to head to May. May should already be done. 31 days. In that training preparation, handouts are already created. I know what videos that I may incorporate and use for instance of motivation, urgency, or just another voice, because that's important. When you're training your team, they're used to hearing you over and over and over, and you got no new shit. So sometimes you got to pull in bits and pieces of other people to help drive home the same point that you've been trying to teach. Role play, product presentations with the group, live phone calls with the group. This is all part of training. What does role play look like? That means role play. We bust out a camera. We put ourselves in selling situations. We record it. We show everybody. We stop it. We pause it. What could we have done? What should we do? How can we get better? How can we grow? People are on the spot to perform. It helps them get better. Product presentations, somebody come to the top of the room and describe the product in complete detail, making sure that we know our products and services that we offer. And live calls is another powerful way. Hey, for example, if I'm in a dealership, we're in a conference room, man, give me a speakerphone. Hey, give me your organizer. Boom, Miss Johnson, 555-1212-1212. Boom, I'm calling a number. We're on speaker, and let them hear you handle the call. Then reverse it. Johnny, call one. Here we go. Here's the phone on speaker in front of everybody. Why? Because in that uncomfortable part, it creates growth. They also know that we have these meetings because they're prepared in advance for 30 days and we do one every day. Holy shit, I may get called on. I better practice, drill, and rehearse. I better study. Guess what happens to your people, guys? They start to get better. They start to get better. Remember, the separation is in the preparation. The separation to great businesses is in the preparation. So I just want to ask you, how much preparation are you putting into your staff, to your business, and how much are you putting into yourself? That's important to note. That's extremely important to note, right? So again, here's my biggest thing I want you to understand, guys. If you want to shrink your problems, grow your purpose. It's real simple. If you've got problems in your business, areas of opportunity in your business, if you want to shrink them, grow your purpose. What's your purpose? Your purpose is the main reason of why you're doing the work. What I just outlined for you, to most of you, when you hear that, it's like, oh, damn, that's a lot of extra work. We don't do some of those things right now. We don't manage it like that. We don't hold people accountable like that. We don't train every single day. We don't. And I understand. However, if you want to grow it, you want to get better in your leadership skills, if you want to grow your sales, you want to grow your business, you want to grow your sales team, there's no way around doing the extra work. The question is, who's willing to do the extra work? So if you really think, why would a leader take the time to digest what I'm explaining, to do some of these extra things? Well, all this is sowing and reaping, man. All you're doing is planting seeds. This is called chopping the tree, man. Chopping the tree. Day 1, day 2, day 4, day 10, day 61, you're tired and it's not growing as much as you think. Then comes day 79. Oh shit, here we go. Get some traction. Day 97, here we go. Day 143. That's right, 143 of 365. Keep it going. Keep it going. Guys, the consistency, the discipline, you all know that's where the magic happens, right? The consistency and the discipline. So in the end, there's no substitute for putting in the hard work, guys. We talk about your body being balanced in business, right? Your body, the work. That's your health and wellness. Your being, the work. That is spiritual practices that connects you to God. Balance, the work. That is how in the world to have a great relationship or marriage or with your children. Your business, the work. That's the leadership, the sales, the personal development. Guys, it can't be any more clear than that. That it's not easy, but listen, championships aren't easily won. Think about it. Championships aren't easily won. You know, there's only one team that's going to win a championship, and there's a whole bunch of teams playing. And what separates the difference? A lot of different things. Some can call it luck. Some can call it happenstance. Some can call it timing. Look, some of those factors may pop in an equation in a game or two, but I can tell you the champion and the champion that wins the championship has done some of the things that we're talking about. Listen, thank you more than you could ever imagine to hanging with me to the end of the podcast and listening. Again, as a form of reciprocity, if you like what you hear, man, subscribe. I got these podcasts drop every Sunday. Share it with somebody. Share it with a leader, maybe a sales guy that's struggling that you know may need to hear some of this stuff, because all of this is relevant, whether it's a team or an individual. Leave a review. Some of you already left tons of comments. Man, I'm overly grateful for some of the stuff you say. It takes just a couple of seconds and it means a whole bunch to me. And lastly, you can always go to louieherron.com if you want more content, more leadership content, other things that I'm doing, you know, with coursework and coaching. And there's a whole bunch on at Louie Herron TV on YouTube as well. Lastly, to my automotive guys, look, Sales CEO is launched. It's out there. If you want to learn how to sell 40 to 50 cars and most importantly, become a sales manager in the auto space, it's there. It's on louieherron.com. All you got to do is check it out. And managers, I've had a few managers buy the course, and man, the stuff that I'm teaching in there, some of the managers haven't even heard, and they're in management. So anyways, check it out. All that's at louieherron.com. Listen, guys, until next week, man, listen, if no one's told you, you're fucking amazing, man. You're fucking great. You can be great. You are great. You're made in God's image. You've got what it takes. And I know sometimes some of the closest people in the world to you don't even lift you up. They don't support you. You don't feel supported. Don't be a victim. Don't play the Millie Mouth. It's okay. Your boys got you. I think you're fantastic. Until next week, we'll see you on the Louie Herron Podcast.